I go into Airbnb, I message the 200 guests I've had over the last 2 years and be like, hey, you love this place, buy fractional ownership. They sign in with their crypto wallet, they do the transaction, I get the crypto. Now I have capital on hand. I just go into Airbnb and block those weeks off so that they can use it. And it makes selling the property 5 years down the road in America kind of crazy, but I could only, I could sell it for 3 years. And that's a fucking brilliant idea, guys.
And so I ended up doing research for buying this Airbnb in Mexico as an American, because I had no idea who to trust. I had no idea what to do. And so I met a guy named Tony, who actually we went down to Argentina with. Jeff knows him. And so I realized that there was no information anywhere to be found of building trust with clients, with potential investors. There was no information in the entire process that I basically did in New York 3 years prior. And so when I had met Tony, I realized that he knew a lot of information. And so I basically asked him, listen, I want to record these calls that we're having on Zoom and put them on YouTube. And I didn't know anything about it. I didn't expect anything to come of it. And suddenly I started getting a huge amount of response and when I mean huge, like 40 views. And all those 40 views, they were calling me, texting me, trying to just on Instagram, how can I do this? How can I talk to you? So in the past year, we've probably sold 35, 40 units, built partnerships, all this stuff. And so I have my own unit in Tulum. I rent it on Airbnb, and basically with my expertise of 9 years, the past 3 months, I've had 100% occupancy. December, I did like 15,000 in revenue. I have February, I was at 100%. This month, I'm at a full 100%, and next month I'll be at 100%. And so then I realized, like, I started putting more videos on YouTube. This is how I'm doing it. This is what I'm doing. And now I have a whole nother side of people coming to me, asking me if I can operate their Airbnb for them, because people don't really know how to do what I do. Although it's basically a playbook on Airbnb. If they want to do it, they could follow exactly what I'm doing. Which is fine, but the transparency has allowed me to get my market share. And so now I'm in the position of, like, how do I grow this? How do I maximize this? And then how does WeSet fit into this? I have a pretty good understanding of WeSet. And then you just asked me, how have I used ChatGPT to do this? My thing, in order to fully execute this and grow, my goal is to do this all over the world. I'm not going to just stop at Tulum. And I need to keep finding more people like Tony around Mexico in the beginning. Maybe I go to Puerto Escondido. I'll go to Rocky Point in Sonora, which is Puerto Peñasco, El Cuyo, Progreso, Merida, like all the cities that are boutique. I want to focus on boutique because that will help me in the way that I can position myself. And in order to do that, I have so much time being consumed by just doing administrative stuff. So I built out a website, the tulumvibe.com. Everything goes through there. People see my YouTube video. I tell them to go to the consulting page on our website. They fill out a form. That form gets brought into a beautiful PDF file. That form is now being brought into monday.com, who I have somebody building that out today to keep track of all my leads and the progression of the sales from, I just got off a call. This guy wants to buy a piece of land. I have my team on a Zoom call just like this. I upload the audio to rev.com. It gives me I'll share my screen. I'll show you if I can. It gives me the show notes of everything. So I have that right here, and I literally, oh, you know what? I just downloaded this. So I literally just made these notes. This was a 45-minute call. And so I ended up doing research for buying this Airbnb in Mexico as an American, because I had no idea who to trust. I had no idea what to do. And so I met a guy named Tony, who actually we went down to Argentina with. Jeff knows him. And so I realized that there was no information anywhere to be found of building trust with clients, with potential investors. There was no information in the entire process that I basically did in New York 3 years prior. And so when I had met Tony, I realized that he knew a lot of information. And so I basically asked him, listen, I want to record these calls that we're having on Zoom and put them on YouTube. And I didn't know anything about it. I didn't expect anything to come of it. And suddenly I started getting a huge amount of response of, and when I mean huge, like 40 views. And all those 40 views, they were calling me, texting me, trying to, just on Instagram, how can I do this? How can I talk to you? So in the past year, we've probably sold 35, 40 units, built partnerships, all this stuff. And so I have my own unit in Tulum. I rent it on Airbnb, and basically with my expertise of 9 years, the past 3 months, I've had 100% occupancy. December, I did like 15,000 in revenue. I have February, I was at 100%. This month, I'm at a full 100%, and next month I'll be at 100%. And so then I realized, like, I started putting more videos on YouTube. This is how I'm doing it. This is what I'm doing. And now I have a whole nother side of people coming to me, asking me if I can operate their Airbnb for them, because people don't really know how to do what I do. Although it's basically a playbook on Airbnb. If they want to do it, they could follow exactly what I'm doing. Which is fine, but the transparency has allowed me to get my market share. And so now I'm in the position of, yeah, like, how do I grow this? How do I maximize this? And then how does WeSet fit into this? I have a pretty good understanding of WeSet. And then you just asked me, how have I used ChatGPT to do this? My thing, in order to fully execute this and grow, my goal is to do this all over the world. I'm not going to just stop at Tulum. And I need to keep finding more people like Tony around Mexico in the beginning. Maybe I go to Puerto Escondido. I'll go to Rocky Point in Sonora, which is Puerto Peñasco, El Cuyo, Progreso, Merida, like all the cities that are boutique. I want to focus on boutique because that will help me in the way that I can position myself. And in order to do that, I have so much like time being consumed by just doing administrative stuff. So I built out a website, the tulumvibe.com. Everything goes through there. People see my YouTube video. I tell them to go to the consulting page on our website. They fill out a form. That form gets brought into a beautiful PDF file. That form is now being brought into monday.com, who I have somebody building that out today to keep track of all my leads and the progression of the sales from, I just got off a call. Let me buy a piece of, this guy wants to buy a piece of land. I have my team on a Zoom call just like this. I upload the audio to rev.com. It gives me I'll share my screen. I'll show you if I can. It gives me the show notes of everything. So I have that right here and I literally, oh, you know what? I just downloaded this. So I literally just made these notes. This was a 45-minute call. I put it right into Chat GPT, which took me maybe 15 minutes. I copied all of the stuff from the automated transcription. I brought it into here and then I got it right here. And since some of my people on my team speak Spanish, here's the summary. During the meeting, Rafael and Nick discussed investing in Tulum. They explored options for finding available land in Tulum. Rafael and Nick discussed potential partnerships. Here's the action steps. Nick will research available land in Tulum. Nick will provide Rafael. This literally, like you could take this recording right now that you have, you can take this, put it into Rev.com, and then you can have action steps right here. And then
Why don't we run this through the program later? See what comes up.
I literally just said, rewrite this in Spanish for some of the people that speak Spanish on our team, and it's there. Now, my partner, Tony, and his brother were not on the call. They have no idea what the call would be, but I can't scale by getting on a phone call with Tony again and saying, hey, listen, this is what we spoke about, blah, blah, blah. No, this took me 14 minutes to do. That's why I said, let me get on here in 14 minutes. Now, what I will do, the next step is my Zoom calls will automatically be recorded. It will automatically do a prompt and tell in Chat GPT how, what exactly to do. And then it will do this automatically. And within 10 minutes, I'll have an automated transcript, both in English and Spanish, of everything that I need right there. So
what prompts do you use? Just like summarize this, add actionable items, and translate to Spanish?
yeah, so here's my thing, right? I need a summary of this meeting with action steps. I copied and pasted it. It then gave me the summary. And then I said, speaker 1 is Rafael and speaker 2 is Nick. I need the action steps with this summary. Boom. Then, since it's too long to paste, I had to separate it in sections. So I separated in sections. It gave me 3. It gave me 3 different ones. Then I come down here and it says, so look, I have each 3. Can you summarize this for meeting notes? Just summarize everything here. Summary, this was the first copy and paste. This was the second copy and paste. This was the third copy and paste. And then it gave me meeting 1, meeting 2, meeting 3. And I said, combine all 3 meetings into the one with the same action steps. And then it just combined all of them. And then I said, all 3 meetings are the same. There's no need to mention first, second, and third meeting. Yeah, that was just like this said in the first meeting, in the second meeting, and the third meeting. And then I just said, no, don't do that, idiot. Put all of them together. And then that's what it did. And then I copied and pasted that into my Canva letterhead right here. And then I said, okay, now just translate that to Spanish. I translated it to Spanish. And then now the idea is to hold my team accountable for everything, because everything is there, both in English and Spanish. If it didn't get done, why did it not get done? There's no reason as to why you should have any questions. You weren't even on the meeting. This is what needs to be done. And so, like right here, Rafael and Nick will explore potential partnerships and investment opportunities to develop properties, such as working with trusted developers. This is for Tony. Before making the purchase, Rafael will conduct due diligence and work with his lawyer to ensure the property is legal. That's on the client. Him and his friend will confirm the purchase. So we're going to go find pieces of land between 100 and 150K, and that will be our next meeting.
That's amazing. Good for you, how you're like scaling this and just maximizing all of the tech.
Yeah, it's pretty sick.
My goal is to do this all over the world and just find people that I can work with, and this is how it works. It's dumbing down the entire process to make sure that shit gets done.
Well, that's what we need to do in our meetings, because right now we're doing a lot of meetings with like people like yourself, just to try to find like product market fit, figure out how the user experience is for them. But we might as well just like, instead of manually doing it, just run it through here ourselves, faster and smarter than us.
I mean, Look, I counted last night. I have 18 people working for me. And every single time they have a question, all I say is, do not ask me these questions, ask ChatGPT. And if you still have a question, ask it again, and then come to me. There's no reason as to why I should have any questions. The girl that works for me in sales, I told her, do not tell the price of the product. Ask more questions. And when she started doing that, so the other day, so for instance, one side of my business, I run a concierge service. So I have the rentals, I have all the rentals, I have a manager that takes care of that. There's no towels, there's no toilet paper, blah, 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 whatever. They handle that. Then I have the concierge service. So from a sales perspective, with your sales team, you can literally, you don't even need, I mean, I don't know if you have one, someone's on this call, but you don't even need a sales trainer. Or you have the sales trainer generate the sales process for your product, right? So for me, my sales are concierge. You know, I have a shuttle from Cancun to Tulum for 260 bucks. The person the other day asked, how much is the shuttle to Tulum? My employee said $260. Whoa, that's way too expensive. The next, I said, do not give her the price. Ask questions until it gets awkward, then copy and paste the entire conversation from Airbnb, put it into ChatGPT and say, what would you do in this situation without giving a price in a sales process? She did that. The guest said, well, we're on our way here to figure out where we're going to do our wedding. So now it's shifted. My salesperson does not know that I have connections for wedding planners here. So now not only did we get the shuttle for 260, I also connected her with a wedding planner. So now it went from the price of that, problem plus solution equals a sale, right? Every single time. She had a problem of how to get to Tulum. I was unaware that she had a problem of finding a place. I provided the process for her to get to Tulum, as well as figure out her problem for getting a wedding planner. She was looking in Tulum. Tulum is super expensive. I connected her with Nomad's Hostel in Isla Mujeres. It's $8,000 for a wedding private on a beach. I just made her life so much easier by not giving her the price for the shuttle. Had she done that again, she would have said it's been too expensive. I would have never known that she had a wedding. She was planning a wedding, and I never would have made the commission off of connecting them with the wedding planner there. And so by doing so, now I can automate things, and then they can come. Hey, Nick, do you have a wedding planner? I do. So I don't want to miss out on opportunities that I don't know, that my team doesn't know. I don't have time to sit there and say, this is our menu, this is what we do. Now, I know this is a lot. I'm super excited. I love this call. I didn't know this was going to be like this. But so now, how do I minimize all of these and automate this in a sense of getting it to a point where the customer can just learn and understand what is going on? You guys all live here. If you have been to Sonora Grill, I went there the other day and I was trying to figure out menus. What would my menu look like if it was a high-end concierge service? I sat down, I built my menu exactly like Sonora Grill. And all these menus are for my chef, for my spa, for my yacht, for my kayaks, for my scuba diving. And I used ChatGPT to make the entire landing page. And then I had the graphic designer. So when they go to my house, they scan a QR code in the home that's made of wood, a Bohemian chic type of wood. And now they don't even have to ask because it's all right here. And when this is
We need to put your concierge services in our reset properties.
I'm 1000% in. That's where I will grow. And that's who the people, I want to work smarter, not harder. I'd rather go to you guys and say, hey, I can provide you an amazing experience with your WeSet platform by putting these QR codes in here. So then they can go and they can get car rentals. And now if you have been to Sonora Grill, This is exactly the same layout as Sonora. I sent this to my web developer and I told them, make this exactly the same. And so we made a sales page. And the other thing is, I follow the best of the best in all the industries. Neil Patel's website, he's the best marketer in the world. Why would I recreate the wheel? I made my website exactly the same as Neil Patel's, just with my information, but the same funnel. What's his name? Brunson. What's his name? Russell Brunson is the best marketer in the world. I made all of my landing pages exactly like Russell Brunson from ClickFunnels. So it saves me time, and then I just throw it through ChatGPT. I literally said, make me menus that are funny with a Mexican twist. Get ready to spice up your life with our ATVs, cenotes, and zipline adventure in Tulum jungle. It's hotter than a jalapeno popper.
This is brilliant, man. This is some next level. Good for you.
It is next. It's next level. And the thing is that we all have here is that it's next level in Mexico by 20. There is no one in Mexico that will catch up to this until 10 years from now. And in the United States and the rest of the world, they're catching on to this, but we have the biggest advantage. There is no concierge service that even puts a QR. That's the simplest thing. They did that at COVID. Every table has a menu for the QR code. No concierge service is putting that in their units. That's like level 1. This is level 60 in Mexico. This might be level 5 in the United States, but we have a huge advantage. And even in your industry in crypto, and no offense to anybody on this call, but you guys, everybody's crypto nerds. They don't understand the marketing side. Well, you have a marketing department, but if me and you were to just build out a crypto wallet, we'd have to go and find people that are doing this.
Okay, good point. So yeah, we could talk forever and get alpha from you about how you're like automating all of your processes. I fucking love it. So yeah,
it's really dope to see how someone who doesn't program use ChatGPT.
Yeah, I have no idea anything about programming. And then when my developer asks me, I tell him, just ask ChatGPT. And he's like, wow, this thing knows how to code. It's doing my job. Like, yeah.
Literally. All right. Nick, could we transition now to just showing you what we're working on? Because it's super cool. We've done a little bit of a pivot at WeSet. We started with let's call it like B2C, right? Business to customer, where we were trying to sell our WeSet units as tokens, and we still maintain that model, and it's still a valid model.
Sure. So let me tell you something. I have my buddy here who's like my business mentor. He's listening on this. If you could just back up and just explain what WeSet is, that way he understands, and then he's a wizard and he will be able to help you help us as well. It's just an added bonus. But if you could explain this and then just catch him up.
Yeah. Okay. Nice to meet you. Sorry, what was your name again?
Yeah, my name's Dustin. I've got a couple Airbnbs myself, and I've been a tech co-founder at half a dozen type of startups. Okay. I kind of complement Nick's business acumen with a little bit of the corporate side of the game. But rock our worlds here, guys. Give us the background.
Cool. Nice to meet you, Dustin. Thank you for joining. So WeSet is essentially native technology to tokenize real estate. Okay. So it essentially is like anybody, any person or company can upload a property, choose sort of like their configurations. For example, right now, I'll share my screen. I'll show you like one of like the products that we have right now.
Yeah, so put real estate on the blockchain so that it can be traded, transacted, invested, all the kind of emerging use cases that blockchain allows for.
Yeah, right. Basically, like Nick said at the beginning, like when he first came to Mexico and he had no idea who to trust, like where, like all of the process when Jeff came to Mexico and he wanted to invest in land, like he literally had to go back to Canada to get the money and stuff.
Eric, you're cutting out.
Okay, you go ahead.
I heard you.
Oh,
Yeah.
You were fine. I could hear
Year
you.
to year?
Yeah,
Oh,
I
we
can.
froze.
You
No,
said
no.
kind of like how Jeff had to go back to Canada and get the money and then you stopped.
Yeah. I mean, it makes perfect sense. I've done my fair share of blockchain stuff and it's such an real estate and blockchain, such an obvious use case because there's so many kind of expenses and, you know, basically escrow and title companies are smart contracts in its root essence. Totally
Right.
get that. Yeah.
Essentially what reset does is it tokenizes the properties into NFTs, and within these NFTs, there's contracts of exclusive right of usage. So this is a property we have in Playa del Carmen, and we've divided it into 52 NFTs, one for each week. And if you see where my cursor is right here, it's for 30 years, 2023 to 2053, right? So if I want to buy this week, the end of March, which is week 13 of the year, it'll cost me just less than $7,000 to buy, let's call it 210 nights, 7 days, times 30 years, right? So, and then you essentially become the exclusive owner of that time in the form of NFT. So it's like a frictionless.
It's vacation
affordable-
time ownership on NFT. It's a brilliant idea. Cool.
Exactly. So this is we are selling this apartment right now in this manner, but we're also developing a B2B, which allows really anybody to upload a property and fractionalize it. So probably the main benefit is that if you have a property and you want to tokenize it, you could configure it the way you want and then sell it as an NFT.
So
Right,
I can
so
raise capital on the Airbnb I have. I can take 5 weeks out of it and be like, well, I need $50,000. And
Exactly.
I sell that. Interesting. Hey,
Exactly.
how do you handle, so if I sell this for 20 years, I now have this fractional ownership, which is essentially a lien position against my property. Because if I go to sell that outside of, in the traditional real estate worlds, obviously this NFT has problems because now it's an NFT tied off to an asset that I don't own in the real world.
Right, so I think you said it pretty well. It's somewhat of a lien, right? So any buyer has to honor that contract because within the NFT there is a metadata with a legally binding contract, right? That guarantees the rights of the NFT holder. So it is sort of like a lien. One sort of way to minimize that risk is just to shorten your NFT period, right? Because you could configure your NFTs for 3 years or 50 years, whatever you want. So that's really one way to maybe minimize that risk.
So I have an Airbnb in Tahoe. It's deluxe ski in, ski out, awesome spot. I'm also in this position where I could use maybe a little bit of spending cash to put into a couple other ideas. I upload my property, I go into Airbnb, I message the 200 guests I've had over the last 2 years and be like, hey, you love this place, buy fractional ownership. They sign in with their crypto wallet. They do the transaction. I get the crypto. Now I have capital on hand. I just go into Airbnb and block those weeks off so that they can use it. And it makes selling the property 5 years down the road in America kind of crazy, but I could only, I could sell it for 3 years, and that's a fucking brilliant idea, guys.
Dustin, you're nailing it. You're explaining it better than we do. Yeah. So you raise capital up front, right?
GPT right here for the summary.
Yeah, no. I get it.
And it works anywhere. It works in Aspen. It's just a platform.
Yeah.
And
one thing,
and since it's an NFT, you could actually, so the second side of this is now it could exist in a marketplace where, because the other thing that's shitty about vacation time rentals is, fuck, I don't want to go back to Lake Tahoe every year for 5 years. So now you can put it up there, you can trade them, you can put fees, there's a whole bunch of emerging kind of secondary markets.
You can trade them for another week, you can trade it for weeks of another property. You can rent it. We're trying to wrap these contracts around the ERC 4907 contract, so you can rent and set users for people. So maybe, instead of transferring the NFT or creating child NFTs, you just rent it out for 1 year or for that week for that year, and it'll come back. And yeah,
Dude,
like,
Timeshares is a huge marketplace and you've essentially undercut their entire fucking business model. Like that's pretty.
Exactly. No businesses or middlemen, just, peer-to-peer, you can buy in 3 clicks on a platform securely. A few things, you mentioned one, I think you nailed it, that the ideal like target market is people who've already rented the Airbnb, right? Because they've already been there, they've used it, they gave it 5 stars. It's like, well, now it ends up being so much cheaper, right, per night if you actually buy like the bulk. And it's win-win for the seller as well as the, it could be a vacationer or it could be someone who sees it as a more of an income instrument, passive income. And one thing also you mentioned is we do have credit card functionality. So it doesn't have to be with crypto. It can,
So I can just, I can drop my Visa in and pay that way, and then you're going through Uniswap or something to.
we're creating wallets, like you can sign in with your email and we'll create a wallet. So you can buy with credit card and you'll still have the NFT in your wallet. So
Nick, check this out. You know when you get like the last guy, he's like, well, I want to be able to do this. Like what this does is this gives a monetization strategy to get somebody to cash positive on these hard to invest wonky Mexico deals. Right. And this would be you'd be the only game in town for this shit.
Give me an example.
So somebody comes in, they want to build a property. They're worried about, they want to get, they want to spend as little as possible, or they want to get to cash back after investing all this money. You can be like, well, Cinco de Mayo is the #1 week that gets rented. It gets rented everywhere. The Tulum's at 100% occupancy. So if you wanted to save to get $30,000 back, you could sell that 1 week on this exchange and I can get you $30,000, but you're selling that 1 week. And now the property, instead of being 100,000 is only 70,000. Or you could be like, I'll sell 1 month out of the year and you're now getting the property built at 0 cost. You just own 11 months out of 12.
Yeah, that's exactly it.
So you're essentially finding capital in
demo of
new ways.
the B2B, because we'll show you like the back end of how a property owner would use and configure our tokenization blockchain as a service.
60, this is level 100. I just said Nick's already at like level 60 in Mexico. If he starts doing this shit, he's at a level 100 in America. Like if he packages this up, I don't think there'll be another Airbnb operator running at the same speed as Nick across the entire globe, big to little company with all of this.
yeah, because one incentive of like owning the NFT right now, like in version 1, let's say the way to rent.
Eric, Mondo, could you show them what you're working on?
Yeah, can you see my screen?
And Dustin, these are our programmers, Eric and Mondo.
Yeah.
Yeah, can you see my screen? Can you hear me? No?
Yeah, we see we set the future of vacation.
Okay. Yeah, so what I was saying is like you could sell off like weeks, and you could even manage like people who don't want to use the week or go to the week. Like you could rent it out in Airbnb and they take the profits out of their weeks, so it's a nice ROI. So this
Also, the best part about it is it's a utility token, right? Because the owner of the NFT has exclusive right of usage. Some models try to make it a pure investment instrument, but then it becomes a security and much tougher to like regulate, right? When you're promising returns to people. But what we do is we offer you the exclusive right of usage of this property. What you want to do with that time is up to you. You could occupy it for vacation, you could lend it to your cousin, or you could just use it as passive income. We help you rent it on Airbnb and you get the income as either crypto or cash.
Guys, I got to drop for another meeting. I love this idea. I'll let you work through Nick, but I'd love to connect with you as well.
This is all recorded and we're going to run it through ChatGPT after too. So thank you for joining us, Dustin.
Yeah, nice. You want to do it here, or are you going to go outside? Okay, I'm going to go outside. I'm going to go outside so I can watch this.
Nick, you're still with us, right?
Yeah. I'm just going to walk outside. Go ahead.
Okay.
I'll listen.
Okay, so this is the admin side for WeSet we have until now. The idea is it's going to be a paid subscription, probably an annual subscription. You pay your subscription, you'll be able to log in and choose from different contracts, right? Like Monday.
Are you guys hearing Eric okay, or is he just getting out for us?
No, I
Oh,
hear.
yeah, I hear him. I hear him good.
Okay, go ahead, Eric, I think it's all right, sorry.
Okay, so yeah, you'll be able to log in and then choose what type of fraction you want to create, like weekly 52 NFTs, monthly 12 NFTs, one of one. And yeah, we're integrating like new stuff in the rentals. So you choose your monthly contract, you give it a name, property price, description, and choose the property image. You'll get to choose where your payout settings, like where any funds from this contract flow to. Right now, we're on the testnet, but yeah, we'll be on Telos and probably Polygon. So after you create your fraction, you'll be able to see your different properties, you could say. And once you click them, sorry about that. Once you click them, you'll be able to, yeah, like fill out the form, like how many guests, how many bedrooms, bathrooms. You'll be able to see how many you've minted, choose your amenities, rules and stuff. You'll have your 12 NFTs or 52, depending on your fractions. So you can set like the individual price for the weeks.
Or your one.
Or your one, exactly. And yeah, the idea is for now, once you fill this out, to create a landing page for your property, similar to the one we have on WeSet right now. It's kind of Airbnb-ish. So you can see like all of the rules, the location, amenities and stuff. And yeah, choose your fraction depending on if it's a month, a week. We also include the legal contract. That's basically the timeshare stuff. You can preview it, yeah, for any week.
And then this can go up to, what is it called? OC?
OpenSea, yeah. So on OpenSea,
Right, but we actually will have our own. We have our own marketplace contracts ready. The actual difficult part that we're still programming is the actual token contract, because it needs to be flexible for all of the use cases that we're trying to imagine. And so that is like the most proprietary, like difficult part is the token contract that's able to make all these different types of fractionals. The marketplace is actually already done in quite a simple contract. But yeah, there will be our own marketplace. I mean, essentially the WeSet.app is a marketplace in and of itself, kind of. It's just presented in a more like real estate way. Do you know what I mean?
I like the name Casa Chingona.
Right. Right. Yeah. So it's going to be the same experience. Like on the back end, they'll be interacting with the marketplace. And if you go back to WeSet.app, as soon as someone goes live on like the admin service, they'll have, a little pop-up here. They'll have their own little square. We're also going to separate it into collections. So if a certain developer, because we're also catering this towards like real estate, developers and
So that was my next question is, in the beginning, from a marketing perspective, it's like if we had a product that I wanted to sell for scuba diving, right? I scuba dive, my scuba diving gear is right here. And I created a new regulator, right?
right.
I would rather just put it on Amazon so to build brand awareness, because as of right now, this is in the beginning stages. No one really is going to know WeSet. So is that a spot where you guys will put on OpenSea, and then now you have, real estate investors, not so here's my problem, right? Is how do I grab people's attention that have $500,000, especially in this situation of the world where it's like, I need to invest this because the banks suck. I don't know about crypto, but I know real estate is great. How do I my problem is, how do I capture those people? And what I've been doing is just putting my information in front of them. So like I could literally take this video, put it on my YouTube channel, title it something along the lines of how I built my Airbnb empire and where I plan on going, and how you can make $100,000 a month, right? Because if I typed in, check this out, look at WeSet, it's fractionalizing NFT, it's fractionalizing property. No one's searching for that. So I want to put my videos in front of people that are familiar with the topic of real estate, but then educate them. And it's the same as if I had this regulator, how can they don't have and like, this is Aqualung. Everybody knows Aqualung, but nobody knows we set regulators. Then I got to study SEO and I got to do that. I'll just put it right in front of Amazon.com, which is like OpenSea for you guys, and then educate them. And then once I get them in my system, in the back end of WeSet, now they will go tell their friends and they'll be like, yo, you have this place in Utah. It's a ski in, ski out, but you need 30 grand to put in. You want to do a HELOC and you need 30 grand as a down payment for your next property. What's your busiest week? Just if you plan on holding the house for 5 more years, you could just do an NFT for 3 years, sell it on this platform, get your 30 grand real quick. Yeah, you lost that. You didn't even lose that week. You just basically got a free loan for time that you would have had to wait.
Yeah.
Now you can cash flow that 30 grand for that one Christmas week or New Year's week. And you get that 30 grand, you go to the bank, say, I have my down payment. This is cash flowing. And now from a marketing perspective, you're insulating your marketing through using other people's stuff. It's the same, the Netflix model. Netflix built their whole platform off of just using other people's stuff. And then they got mad about it. And now they have Netflix originals and we have Disney Plus, we have ESPN Plus, we have Hulu, we have this, but that's how they started and that's how they grew. So you guys in the me, myself too, like we're in the situation of using the Netflix model to grow awareness. Like with your permission, I'd love to chop this video up, put it on my YouTube channel. And then now I'm getting clients to build and buy from me. And then now these people are like, wow, wait a second, this could work. I could buy the house. Like what Dustin just said is you're basically buying $100,000 property, selling it for 30 grand for the next 3 years, getting the 30 grand back. Now it only cost me 70. And now I can recycle that money and build my empire. But how do we explain that? Like you can't, that's a whole nother marketing thing. So we just take it the easy route, use the Netflix model, use this content, educate them, get them in, and now they're using your backend platform.
In terms of OpenSea, the contracts are automatically indexed to OpenSea. So as soon as people upload it on their backend, it'll be a part of our own collection on OpenSea. But yes, I understand what you mean.
This is gonna change. I mean, and the good thing is with the economy, the way we're going, every single one of my clients is coming from the United States and Canada. They are getting out of the United States and getting out of Canada. And so now we can educate them. It's the same. I mean, you might want to position it separate once people know about this, but you can position it like, are you familiar with timeshares? Like people are afraid of that. Well, this is you're time sharing your own property. And you can even go for the people that own timeshares that are familiar with this, that say, I have a timeshare. I know how it works. It worked well. Well, what if you could do the same and you can do that? We have this platform.
Yeah, we're already in negotiating with the resorts and things around Playa and Tulum.
Yeah, this would take over. Yeah, you're
these people already have properties, they have like sophisticated marketing and sales channels, right? As you said earlier, like how do we get an audience? It's been a bit tougher for us as like a startup, we're an unknown company, new product, and like without like a large like marketing budget. So that's why we pivoted a bit to blockchain as a service to provide this like super sick technology to any person with with marketing or sales channels like already. And just some numbers from our newsletter yesterday. This is like one very like approachable way to sell like the NFTs. So here's some of the numbers we did yesterday of It Builder, the building that's literally for sale on our Web3 platform right now. Is that if you buy a 30-year NFT in April, it costs you $32 a night on average. So it's like $6,800 for 30 years ish. That rents on Airbnb right now with an extremely high occupancy percentage for $109 per night, which is about a 250% ROI right there. If you're just looking at it from a pure passive income perspective, or if you're looking at it from a vacation perspective, you're paying 30 something dollars a night for something that would cost you $110 a night. So it's like, you just gotta like communicate the logic to people, and they don't have to be that crypto savvy. Like our programmers are making it like super user friendly with like dashboards and stuff. So like,
Yeah,
Mondo,
look,
maybe
like
you could
Airbnb.
explain how Magic Wallet works. So you don't even really have to know that you're using a crypto wallet.
Yeah, it's awesome. So how could we, I think we could work together in a way where, I mean, we could get you clients in the sense of, it's not even like you have to sell. This benefits everybody. This is an easy sale if they're educated properly.
Right, if
And
that's the problem, is if they're educated properly, they'll understand the benefits of it.
so I have this, you guys got to send me this recording, and I could incorporate this somewhere in my website. I'll definitely put this on YouTube. I don't think we spoke about anything internally that shouldn't be shared. I think it's okay. And when I start getting traction from it, we can continue doing these types of calls regularly. And then, you know, we could figure out how it plays out. We have to see what the market, what they're asking, right? So usually I'll put a video out, someone will ask me a question, and then we make another video around that. And I think that what Dustin had said, in the sense that you're now allowing someone to buy something and fractionalize it before you cash flow in the future, which to me is like taking a loan against yourself, but you get to keep the asset.
Yep.
Exactly.
If you told me that, look, I can like you, I would never understand that. No one would understand.
That's how you get your clients to scale super quickly, right? They want to buy an apartment, like here, tokenize a few months, take that, and you buy another property. So now you have 2 properties right away.
Exactly. The only thing is that they're locked into whatever, like there's basically a lien against it. But if you know that you're gonna keep the unit for 5 years, just make your NFT 2 years or however much money you need, and just sell it like that. And then the other thing is that the person that buys the NFT, let's say I bought, you know, Christmas week in Tulum. Well, now my wife had a baby and I can't go, but now there's a resellers market where someone else could buy it. And then that person could even raise the price and make money off their initial investment. And so
Exactly.
it turns into a free vacation with the opportunity to sell it, because from my understanding, inside fractional ownership or timeshares, you're locked with that forever, and you can transfer it to your son or your daughter, but you don't get to make any money off of it. It's already been paid for.
Right.
And
Correct.
you can tokenize anything on the platform. So it could also work for you if you want to tokenize experiences, like, or even like tokenize a package, right? Like you get the apartment plus whatever experience like you're selling with it.
So here's something that this is going to shift it a little bit, and this is an idea in the back of my head, but I have not met the right people to help me with this. Is I have this amazing, I don't know if you guys, if you've seen it, the mural in my home, right? So
Show us, share your screen and show us. This place is sick.
yeah, so this is my house in Tulum. Let me go to Airbnb. So I have switched to hosting.
I remember in Argentina, I was trying to convince you to tokenize a month at this place. I still think that's a great option if you're interested.
I agree. I'm gonna sit down and figure something out with you guys. So here's my house in Tulum, right? So this mural is like 30 feet tall by maybe like 25 feet tall by like 18 feet wide, 20 feet wide. It's enormous. Like
Wow.
it's huge. And so here in Playa, I have a very large group of entrepreneurs and stuff that I just joined who works with taxes, business structure. And that's how I met Dustin. And some of these guys, one of the guys was one of the co-founders of Ethereum. And like, you know, just high-end people that are doing all stuff with AI and Chat GPT. That's how I've learned how to do this. And so we have an opportunity. You mentioned experiences where we could tokenize this painting. We could make little different iterations of it, sell 10 of them for $5,000, $10,000. And you get 2 nights, 3 nights, whatever nights with the NFT, but you also get access to mastermind with these group of people here. We can help structure your business in the right way, in the sense of building offshore bank accounts, offshore LLCs with trustees and beneficiaries, to where you can privatize your assets so that if something were to happen, you know, you can't, if someone were to sue you, like, that is valuable information. But in order to get that, you tokenize what you said, like some sort of different asset, which in my case, I'd love to tokenize this painting. But with that painting comes the utility behind it of, I have a 6-bed, my house, like I literally have this house in Playa just to do this. Everybody here, they're all entrepreneurs. It's 6 bedrooms, 7 bathrooms. I have 2 extra rooms open for someone like Dustin to come and mastermind with me and help me build this out. And so I
Eric,
could,
come on back to Playa.
what'd you say?
I'm just joking. Try to get the programmers to move back to Playa on your pad.
Down.
I have space available, but like you only are allowed to live here if you are doing something. Like I need people, and I need help as much as you guys need my help and Dustin's help and Bobby's help and Ian's help. Like we're a community of high-end entrepreneurs doing all this stuff. And you know, if we could tokenize this, make the experience, hey, you get introduced to these, you're going to level up 10 times. And, you know, there's these groups out there that you get involved in them, or they advertise like, yeah, you know, build a drop shipping company. I've done that. Like, they're not high end in the sense of what I'm referring to. I've been looking for years for this group of people, and I finally found it. And that's how we could tokenize something like this.
And I love that you procure your roommates. Well played.
Oh,
Super high level move.
like every one of my roommates they were making no money, and now they're making $3,000 a month because I've connected them with the right people. It's not just me. Like, Dustin is here. Everybody is here making sure that we're bringing everybody up. Like, Dustin has helped me level up.
It's quite obvious that you're super dialed in, and so is Dustin. Just from meeting him quickly.
I do this every day, all day. But now my goal is, I'm trying to build, I've always built companies like this, and they were started out as a hobby. And now meeting these guys, I have 18 people working for me, and I have cash flow coming in. I just keep recycling the money because I don't want to do this anymore. In 10 months from now, I want it fully automated, where I am just making YouTube videos and getting clients, and then my team is operating it. Because the second that I changed my thought process on that, actually it has leveled me up, because I used to always want to do everything myself. Like, let me do this, let me do that. Okay, I'll do the bookkeeping. Damn, now I have to do my taxes. No, I'll just pay someone $2,000 to do the taxes, because I don't have the time to do it. And now they'll just do it forever, or, you know, whatever. So I don't know. That's just my side rant.
It's the right approach, and I'm glad that you're like validating what we're doing. So we got to figure out a way to find synergy and make this happen.
Yeah, I'm gonna send
like,
a video recording to my developer, because he's a developer, but he's also thinks for himself, and he has a he can see it and say, this is how it could transcribe into the flow of the website. And so this is such a new topic that we have to educate them on a higher level of, like what I said with the title of the videos is like, what would you do with $500,000 if you could fractionalize it or take a loan against yourself by still owning the asset without doing a HELOC? I don't know, because those are keywords that people type in. And I don't have to think about that because ChatGPT will just give me 25 titles in 2 seconds. And then I match.
The cool thing is, Nick, is that we're like just getting started. So like the product and the platform is super sick, but like we want to build with our community, right? So if there's something that you see as like a huge opportunity, like we could work with you to try our best to make it happen. Like Eric and Mondo, what did you guys think about like the tokenizing, like the property of art or other assets?
Yeah, let's do it. Like we can tokenize anything. I love the idea of tokenizing the mural as art, but the whole experience it might give you, the mastermind. I've actually worked with some like Mexican influencers years ago that had their own mastermind. And even in Mexico, when people pay
They got, I mean, they got money. There's money everywhere. It's just, and those people that would pay, let's just say it's 10 grand. Like you get 3 nights in the house and we have a mastermind there and we organize it and everybody's just building shit.
That's another sort of use case of these tokens, right? Like we have some clients who come to like yearly salsa events in Playa del Carmen. So like they want that week just for their like yearly retreat or event or whatever.
Yeah.
So it's like another market.
Yeah. So I mean, I'm gonna chop this video up and then we'll see what happens.
We'll see what happens. Yeah.
How do you work? Do you want to start a group chat or how do you want to keep the channels open?
Yeah, we could start a group chat. I'll even add Dustin into it. And
Anyone?
he's a special guy. Like he knows a lot of stuff. He works for ServiceNow. He builds AI platforms. He like you said, he's been co-founder of a bunch of startups, angel investor. Like he systemizes and builds processes for this type of stuff. And so he's a wizard at this stuff. And so, yeah, let's just make a group chat, add me to the group chat, and I'll make me an admin. I'll add Dustin, and because he also owns the Airbnb, like he could tell you his problems that he needs, you know, and stuff like that.
How much does Airbnb take from you guys? Like, what's their fee?
In Mexico, as an American, we pay, well, if you have your RFC and your residency, like I do, it's like 8% and 4%. So 8% VAT or 4% VAT, 8% occupancy. And then if you don't have your residency, which I've been helping people get their residency, it's like 36%. That's the taxes. But then Airbnb takes, I think they take 3%. But I think that 3% comes from no, they get it from the guest. Here, I'll show you. Let me see. Like, let me just look at my thing. Let me share my screen again and I'll show you. So this is for me with my RFC and my, but then that's another market too, is, hey, you don't have your RFC, you don't have your, what's it called? Your residency.
Right.
You're getting, watch, so.
I mean, with WeSet, you don't need any, like, we bypass all international bureaucracy and paperwork, right? To just buy an NFT that has rental metadata within it. And then anything can be done in either fiat or crypto in terms of passive income.
Yeah, that's true. So like this girl's checking in today. She paid $400 for 5 nights per night. I have a cleaning fee of that, right? And then, so the host service fee is 3%. So I pay $63 just to list it here. This is what the government is taking, and this is what the government is taking. Now, I'll show you an example of someone that doesn't have their RFC, like Kelly.
So it's somewhere between
So
10 and 15%.
She got lucky. They didn't catch her yet. Like, I'm just gonna see. I've seen them where. Ooh, these guys are getting lucky. I don't know where it was, but I've seen where they're taking a ton of taxes out. So there's more than 3%. I don't think Airbnb knows that these properties are in Mexico because Airbnb is not the best. I saw the other day where it was like 16 and 12. Maybe it was on Utans. Let me look. No, maybe it's on one that was a past one. Maybe it's on Tana. I have so many listings. I've seen them before. Let me go to a past one. No, I don't know, but they do take more out. I don't know why it's not showing up here. That's for the promotion. But they do take a lot. They do take like 36% if you don't have your residency.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, hopefully with crypto, you find a way around that.
Yeah, I think that you could.